I'll turn my attention to the debt crippling Victoria shortly, talk to the Shadow Treasurer. But I want to go back to North Queensland, those floods in the wake of Tropical Cyclone Jasper. Now, there has been still urgent rescues taking place right through the day. Floodwaters have started to recede, but one of the best places on the Queensland coast, in my view, Port Douglas, has largely been cut off. Now, residents in parts of far north Queensland, they've been on rooftops for days. The ADF have now deployed Defence Force personnel, 2 heavy lift Chinook helicopters there doing their best as we go to air tonight. It does bring into question something I raised last night with the Mayor of Cairns. The Bureau of Meteorology was forecasting that Cairns faced, quote, possibly heavy rainfalls of 30 to 130 mils. Instead, the city itself of Cairns received more than double that forecast rainfall on Sunday and was drenched by 268 millimetres. Let's cross live to the Mayor of Douglas Shire, Michael Kerr. How are you coping right now?
A lot better than I was yesterday, I can tell you right now. I'm actually back in my council chambers in my office, which is the first time I've been here in about 3 days, so I couldn't get here. And I've just stepped out of a meeting, which is the first meeting that we've had that we've actually got a full room with ADF included, as well as fresh-faced emergency services staff that have got in here today to help us move forward. Because, yeah, the guys we had here had been here for over a week and we were absolutely at breaking point.
Michael, I don't want to make light of this situation at all, but Port Douglas is one of my all-time favourite places, and it's a favourite place of so many people from down south, whether it be Melbourne or Sydney. How long is it going to take you to clean things up? Have you even put your mind to that yet, or are you still dealing with rescue operations?
Well, you'll be happy to know that Port Douglas is the only place in my shire that wasn't affected. You know, we got a bit of wind blowing during the cyclone itself, but these floods have been from Mossman and north of the shire. Port Douglas is sitting there ready to take tourists as soon as we can get them here. You know, unfortunately, of course, the Captain Cook Highway is blocked and it could be quite a few weeks before that's opened up, but there will be other accesses to get into Port Douglas. And we certainly hope that in a couple of weeks' time, once we get everything ready, tourists will come back to us and enjoy Port Douglas like they always do.
How smashed did the Daintree get, and how bad? You know, we've seen the situation when we had those dreadful floods in northern New South Wales and northern Victoria. One of the things that happens, as you will know, Michael, is your roads get belted really badly. How tough's it going to be to repair those roads?
A massive job, absolutely massive. And again, from Mossman going north, we've got lots of road damage. There's sections where the bitumen's just disappeared. It's in a paddock somewhere buried in mud. We've got massive landslides in the Daintree around Thornton's Range. There's a 120-metre landslide there, plus there's many others, which we've managed to get helicopters in today to have a look at this. We've got SES crews and other crews going in tomorrow to assess it on the ground level, which we've also managed to get food drops and water drops into them as well today. And, you know, hopefully as soon as this water recedes enough in the Daintree River, we can get the ferry back on and we can get equipment across there and start clearing that as quickly as possible and get all that opened as well.
Michael, I reckon the jungle drums would have been beating. Give me an idea of some of the more remarkable rescue stories involving your wonderful population.
Well, I tell you, Wonga is probably one of the most amazing ones. This little township, you know, they are such resourceful people. We didn't have much there for them because we weren't expecting this amount of rain. You know, they jumped into rescue mode themselves with a couple of SES guys that were there. They borrowed people's boats and they were rescuing people in the dark, in the rain, with no power. You know, they just did an amazing job down there. I think there was over 100 of them ended up in the shelter in Wonga that night. You know, it's just an incredible story, you know, what these people have gone through. And, you know, they've been sitting there now for 3 days with no power, no water, no food resources. So to get things through them now finally is, you know, absolutely great for them.
How important has the ADF support been, Michael?
Well, it's going to be really supportive. And as I said, they just arrived today. So the guys are on the ground. We've got a meeting happening right now with them. So from tomorrow, we'll see them on the ground. And, you know, we need the resources. We're only a small community council, and we certainly need to have the bodies on the ground and, you know, these resources from a state and federal level to be able to get to the areas to repair a lot of this damage. And, you know, it's going to take some time to do so.
Just finally, and repeat this for me, I mean, give us the advice on people watching us tonight in the southern states about how important it is, if they have had accommodation booked through this period, not to cancel it, but to just change the dates and still come when things are safe to come.
It is so important. Everyone knows we're one of the hardest hit regions in the country over COVID. Tourism was decimated here, it really was. And, we're just starting to rebuild it. We're only just starting to see international tourists come back again and enjoy what Port Douglas has to offer. The last thing we need now is to go into a second economic slum caused by this. So it's really important to us that, people keep their tickets, keep their accommodation and, get up here and enjoy what we've got to offer and, keep the economy going for these businesses that we have in Port Douglas and the Douglas Shire.
Doing great. You're doing a great job, my friend. I'll let you go back to that very important meeting. Michael Kerr there, who runs things up around Port Douglas.